W07 and today we are up against PÆLØ. My team will be Omega Sentinel, Pryde and Tigra. I'm taking path 1 in section 1, node 20 Man-Thing, Footloose Ebony Maw, path 5 in section 2, all the right side mini-bosses as well as the Doom boss. I could have taken that penny on Power Snack and Mordo on Mixmaster, but we decided to let someone else try them to see how they do. Up first we have this Tigra on Personal Space Regeneration, and I'm taking this with Pryde. The plan here is to get as much prowess as I can and nuke her down with a single special too. That way, the Personal Space Regeneration node doesn't have any time to ramp up, so you can basically just ignore it. I go ahead and throw my special 2 while I'm at 14 prowess. Looking back, I probably should have gotten some more, but I figured that it would still finish the job. If not, it would have been close enough to finish it with a couple of hits. Next up we have a red Magneto on Masochism Overtime, and I'm taking this one with Pryde as well. I could have used Omega Sentinel, but since Pryde basically ignores everything on this node, I figured that she would be the better option. At the start of the fight I parry him twice. The first triggers Masochism and the second sticks the stun debuff so I can get an easy opening. And since both of those parries do inflict a stun, even though one of them gets shrugged off, both of them give me prowess. And with the following combo I'm already up to 3 prowess at the start of the fight, so I can start phasing. As long as I can trigger the phase, I can ignore the Masochism, and then all I need to do is just build up some prowess, get to my special 2 and finish the fight. Then we have a Man-Thing on node 20, as usual. I'm taking this one with Omega Sentinel again, but this time I play it horribly. The idea here is to get my 3 heal block debuffs up, trigger the Masochism before throwing my special 2, so that my Incinerate debuffs do not get shrugged off. After that I need to just keep my debuffs up by finishing my combos with light attacks to trigger the pause. However, I somehow managed to screw it up pretty badly. I get my 3 heal block debuffs up just fine, but instead of going for a full combo finishing with a light attack to pause them, I went for a double medium again, for no reason. And that caused the heal block debuffs to fall off before I could use my special 2. So now I'm basically doing no damage and the strike counter fury node is ramping up pretty fast. I need to get to my special 2 as soon as possible for another set of Incinerate debuffs. I only had 2 heal block debuffs up before throwing the special 2, because I didn't feel safe enough to go for the third one. Finally the fight is over. It's a very safe fight with Omega Sentinel as long as you don't mess up the rotation like I did. Up next is an Ebony Maw on the Footloose node, and I'm taking this with Tigra. Normally this is a pretty fast and a fairly safe fight, as long as the AI cooperates. And this time it doesn't. I need to make sure that Ebony Maw is neutralized before he throws his special. Otherwise he gains that unstoppable and evade buff. I always do my best to try to bait his special 1, because I find it easier and safer to punish with my heavy attack. But Ebony Maw didn't feel like throwing it, so I had to wait for the special 2. You can miss those last 2 hits of it, but if you mess it up, you will most likely die. So that's why I just go for the Dex. And once again he's not throwing his special one, so instead I just decide to do a normal combo and go for my special 2 without baiting a special. The fight should have been around 30 seconds long, if not faster than that, but the AI wasn't feeling it. Oh, and this was after the fix to neutralize, and Tigra still works for Force of Will just fine. Anyways, then we have a Scorpion on Ebb and Flow Intercept, and I'm taking this with Kitty Pryde. The plan here is to use my phasing for easy intercepting to remove the protection, as well as to use the phase to avoid Scorpion's evade counterattack. When Scorpion evades, the counterattack leaves you open for long enough for Scorpion to dash at you to start his combo. But with Kitty's phasing, you miss the counterattack completely, which means that Scorpion doesn't get an opening. The counterattack still inflicts a sting debuff, and you do lose your prowess for missing the hit, so it's better than getting hit, but it still does affect you. Now with the protection down and the Ebb and Flow Fury passive, I decide to go for my special 2 to finish the fight. Next up is a Sasquatch on Ebb and Flow Intercept, and I'm taking this with Kitty Pryde. You have probably seen me take this fight before, and this one is no different than the rest. The plan is to build up my prowess so I can start phasing, after which I just do medium light combos, go for the intercepts and let the unblockable do the job. When it comes to his specials, I still keep doing medium light combos even when he has a bar of power, so when he throws his special one, I phase the first hit and block the second one. Normally, Sasquatch's special one can stun you through your block, but as Kitty Pryde is stun immune while phasing, it does nothing. In my opinion, this is the best way to do it, since if you dex his special once, you will be triggering Mystic Dispersion. Now that he doesn't have any rage stacks and I have disabled the Ebb and Flow protection, I go for my special 3, hoping it would finish the fight. It doesn't. From the looks of it, this Sasquatch didn't wanna be in this fight anymore. Up next is a Bishop on the Safeguard miniboss node, and I'm taking this with Kitty Pryde. Now, Bishop is a very good matchup for Kitty for many reasons. Probably the biggest reason is that Kitty Pryde is immune to Incinerate, so Bishop's specials can't hurt you. Well, namely the special 1 can't hurt you with that Incinerate aura he has. The way I like fighting Bishop with Kitty is to bait his special once and phase them. As for how I consistently phase his special 1, when he starts the animation, I dash back twice and dash straight in. I stand still and let the bullets miss into my face, after which I dash in again to start my combo. The most important part to remember when fighting a Bishop like this is that you need to get back up to 3 prowess before baiting another special. The steady release he gets from his special 1 ramps up your prowess potency, so if this wasn't a safeguard node, you could use that and nuke him down with your special 2s. Just remember that you don't want to use your special 1 or special 3 against him, because you don't want to incinerate him. And then we have a Hulkbuster on the Stunning Reflection miniboss node, and I'm taking this one with Kitty Pryde as well. At first I was gonna use Omega Sentinel here, but then I remembered that as a robot she doesn't gain any willpower healing, so the shock debuffs you get from Hulkbuster, they would hurt. So I decided to use Kitty Pryde instead. I can face all the damage from my recon masteries, the shock debuff, and I can also use the unblockable for easy openings. Now that I have him cornered, I switch to doing medium light combos. Doing so allows you to phase as often as possible. For Hulkbuster specials, I usually tend to either dex or phase his special 1, and for the special 2, I most often dex the first hit, block the first 2 beams and dex out of the last one. In my experience, doing that allows you to safely punish it. Now, this fight is almost over, but I do something very, very stupid here. And I go for a phase on his special too. Had I been a little bit too late or a little bit too close when I dashed at him, I would have been dead. I had 3 shock debuffs and each of them increases Hulkbuster's damage. I really shouldn't have done that. Then we have a Kitty Pryde on the Brute Force mini-boss node, and I'm taking this with Omega Sentinel. I don't use a pre-fight here, so that I start the fight with the Cowardice debuff mode active. And just like the previous Kitty Pryde fights with Omega Sentinel, the Cowardice debuff completely removes and stops her from gaining any prowess, so she basically does nothing. As for this specific fight, I'm not going for any parries so that I don't get the disorient passives on me. They can't lower my defensive ability accuracy, because Omega Sentinel is immune to that against mutant champions, but I would be taking more block damage. I went for my special 2 here for the plasma debuffs, but looking back I should have just finished this fight with normal combos. That recoil damage I took was unnecessary and it costs me a couple potions. The last fight of this war is a Doctor Doom boss with Omega Sentinel. And just as before, I start the fight with the heal block debuff active. I do that so that I don't have to throw any heavy attacks in this fight. The plan is to get some heal block debuffs up, preferably 3 before throwing my special 2, so that I get as many incinerate debuffs as I can. The incinerate is my main source of damage in this fight, and since Doctor Doom is a conduit defender, I also do need to keep at least 1 heal block debuff up throughout the fight. I managed to line up everything well, and I got all 4 incinerate debuffs out of my first special 2. Now all I need to do is just keep them paused by finishing my combos with a light attack. I'm not using any specials here until after either the debuffs fall off or something goes wrong and I'm about to die. Since if the incinerate debuffs fall off, I want to get new ones up as fast as possible. And the easiest way to get incinerate debuffs up is by using the special 3. So far the fight has gone basically perfectly, at least if you ignore me eating a few special ones. Comparing this to my previous Doom boss fight, yeah, this is how it's supposed to go. Sure, this isn't that fast, since I'm not going for more incinerate debuffs, but you don't always have to be fast. I would much rather take it slow and steady than to rush things and potentially lose an attack bonus because of it. This fight is nearing its end, and yeah, this went pretty much as good as it could have gone. I didn't drop the debuffs a single time during this whole fight. We ended up winning this war 17-8. Oh, and just as a last minute disclaimer, if I have sounded weird throughout this video, it's most likely because it's 10 AM when I'm recording this and I haven't slept at all. So, yeah.